It is that time of year where speculation runs amok, and we have had this conversation numerous times before. I'm getting a little sick of it, to tell you the truth, but that's okay. That's okay, because when you talk about something every day, all day, you're bound to get a little sick of some stuff. But I am sick to death of this conversation. And we've had it ad nauseum. I think it's stupid, but we're going to have it some more because I saw something today. Now, when I say this situation, you guys are going to instantly go. You instantly know where I was talking about. And so we're gonna do this. Okay. Last night, a team played without their starting quarterback. That starting quarterback didn't even travel with the team. His name is Lamar Jackson. I like to call him Lamar Wilson. And yes, I am making fun of him.
Man, he's so crazy, better pick up the phone. Lamar Wilson.
And I am scouring the internet, and I see a guy by the name of Liam McConey. Don't know who this gentleman is, but he says 4 Lamar Jackson free agency destinations. Now, Lamar Jackson, as you know, he does not have a deal in place, and Baltimore came out earlier this morning on Monday the 16th that they are going to franchise tag him. Like, no hesitation. It's highly likely that he's franchise tagged. He, in my opinion, will not play on that franchise tag, okay? And therefore, he will demand a trade or he's not going to sign. And among 4 teams, the New York Jets, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Atlanta Falcons, according to Mr. Liam McConey, the Detroit Lions are on that list. Now, Lamar has liked a post, several posts from the Detroit Lions about him going to the Detroit Lions. He has said good things about our coach, Dan Campbell, and that leads a lot of people to speculate that Lamar Jackson wants to be a Detroit Lion. And according to Mr. Liam, here's what he had to say. Speaking of teams that are just a QB away, the Lions will be thrown around in all Lamar Jackson's discussions until the situation is resolved. Jared Goff played great football this year, but I love this when it comes to my quarterback, Jared Goff. There's always a but. Every single time, bro. Every time somebody talks about Jared Goff, there's a but. But Detroit can get out of his contract for only $10 million this offseason. And Jackson is obviously a huge upgrade from a talent perspective. The Lions have a lot of work to do defensively in order to be considered true contenders. The offense, though, is pretty much good and to go. And Jackson would thrive behind that offensive line with those skill position players. The primary reason Detroit wouldn't do this, okay, now he's talking with some sense, is that it doesn't really fit the ethos of what Dan Campbell has been building. I agree. And GM Brad Holmes is a huge golf guy. I also agree. If Jackson didn't pan out, there's a big risk that his contract would ruin everything good the Lions have done recently. And for this franchise, it's really hard to do things right on a consistent basis. So there will be hesitation to rock the boat. Still, they have to consider it because if Jackson did pan out, the sky is the limit. Hold on. Let me do this. I got it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I know Zay is a huge fan of this. I know he is. We have gotten in endless debates about Lamar Jackson and his ability to change the Detroit Lions. I just don't understand. I agree with the whole second paragraph. Everything he said in there, he doesn't fit with the ethos. Brad Holmes is a huge golf guy. The big risk at the big contract. This, if you want Lamar, that's fine. That's fine. I don't I don't think it's going to happen. I think we would have a better chance of getting Jalen Ramsey if you wanted him over Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson will potentially be held hostage by the Baltimore Ravens. That's what they're going to do. He will then have to not play. He will then have to force them to trade him to a team that actually wants him. That's what's going to happen. You could see the Baltimore Ravens, how they have been missing his talent, and that's because you built the team around him. But he didn't have any receivers. That is also true. But whose fault is that? That's the Baltimore Ravens' fault. You traded away Hollywood Brown. You picked up Sammy Watkins. You cut Deshaun Jackson, even though he's 30-something years old. So whose fault is that? Okay. And now the Baltimore Ravens, who did not want to pay Lamar Jackson, who he did not risk playing injured for them, which I don't blame him either. Robert Griffin III can attest to why you shouldn't do that. And then they're going to hold him hostage with a franchise tag, most likely. I don't see Lamar Jackson playing another. And if they do sign him and give him a big deal, then what damage has already been done? The Ravens organization has shown that they don't care about you like that. They let you play without paying you. And guess what? You got hurt. But how does that back to the Detroit Lions? It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Lamar Jackson is not going to be here. So I do agree with, I don't agree with the beginning. One quarterback away. Come on, man. Every time we mention Jared Goff, we always got to put a but. We always have to put a but in there. But what? The Detroit Lions had the fewest turnovers in the National Football League. Jared Goff was responsible. I'll give him 10. Jared Goff has had the most turnovers since 2019. But I guarantee you this. He did a lot to change that this year. He did a ton to change that this year. Because of his 7 interceptions and less fumbles, the Detroit Lions had the fewest turnovers in the league. A quarterback is responsible for a lot of that. So take the butt out of Jared Goff. When you're talking about Jared Goff, remove the butt. Sounds funny the more you say it. Remove the butt. A quarterback away. Did this guy see our defense? If you want Lamar Jackson and you say we're a quarterback away, we had Matthew Stafford and we still were not a quarterback away. For the first time since I've been watching the Detroit Lions, they are building this thing the right way. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. For all that show they got over there, they don't have any offensive line. If Joe Burrow wasn't the quarterback that he is, they would be worse than they are. They built through the draft, and they still got to get that offensive line together. The Detroit Lions are not a quarterback away. They have the quarterback. Get that defense right. We are right on the offensive side of the ball. We might be able to use, depending on what happens with DeAndre Swift, a more dynamic running back who can stay healthy. DeAndre Swift is a G when he's healthy and when he got that confidence. But this Lamar Jackson thing, man, we got to stop with it. He is not coming. I don't care how many posts he like. The Detroit Lions ain't about to pay this man. So I just watch what your GM does. He does not do this stuff. Checkbook is tight. His checkbook is tight. He shops at the dollar store. He shops at Five Below. He doesn't shop at these places. And I'm not trying to rag on these guys. I love my team. I love Khalif Raymond. But he shops at Five Below. Dollar General. That's where he gets his guys from. Now this year, he might go to Sears if it's still in business, to the clearance section. He's not going to bring these guys here. So let me know your thoughts, man. I know a lot of y'all want him, but he will not be a Detroit Lion. All you got to do is just follow what your GM does, and you can see it.